this is Dodge Wolf.
Dodge
Oh,
Wolf-
I mean,
what?
sorry, I mean Logan. Yeah, we're not going to be using our fake names anymore.
No,
so
no.
Dodge Wolf is my gaming channel name, and then this is Candace.
Candace, not to be confused with Jandis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And welcome to
Don't Look at the Bus.
Well, you were gonna say something
Okay, yeah.
to me earlier.
So, speaking of don't look at the bus, how about don't even see the bus? So, as none of you know, I actually sold my truck recently, which means I have to rely on public transportation. And let's just say sometimes the drivers don't even see you and just decide to drive past you, which is a really fun conversation that Logan and I had about 10 minutes ago about drivers just driving past and minding literally their own damn business. And let's just say, not cool, bus drivers, not cool. So from now on, I don't want to look at the bus. I just want to ride the bus, get on the bus, get off the bus, and not have to deal with the bus when I get home.
Amen.
Preach!
Preach. Since you had to go through that experience,
Yes.
I'm wearing a brace for my hand. It's
You are.
It's my clicking hand.
Yeah.
I was taking the garbage out at work and slipped out on the back door there, near the garbage can. I think I tore something in my thumb too.
Right, you had to go to the emergency room. Okay.
They did the X-ray and they were like, "Well, nothing's broken. You're just a pussy." But they said, "Yeah, it's torn, but you'll make it. Just keep it elevated." Which, when the fuck am I ever gonna keep my arm elevated? Seriously, I don't.
No kidding.
But anyway, when I fell, I also landed on my butt. So they were worried about my coccyx being broke. That's such a fun word.
Hey, you know what? Having a broken tailbone is a serious business. It doesn't heal.
No, it doesn't heal. They can't do
Nope.
anything. They just
You
say, "Hey."
will be in constant company of a donut.
Thought you were gonna say constipated. I was like, I don't
No,
think that works.
no. People who have a broken tailbone, they always have a donut with them because they can't get comfortable no matter where they are. Okay, funny story. I once was engaged to somebody who had a broken tailbone, and he carried. It wasn't a donut, but you know those neck pillows that you have on the
yeah.
airplane?
I have
So
one of those.
actually it works a lot better than the donut that the doctor gives you.
It's probably free
And-
too. Probably
Yeah,
on
and
top
so like every time we'd go to a movie theater, he would bring it with him, and honestly, it was the only thing that kept him quiet through the whole movie.
Well, and if you think about it too, it's also a
It-
little
it's
less
more-
embarrassing.
And there's more cushion because people are like, oh, it's for your neck, so you can keep your head upright during the movie. You can just chill. It's like, no, it's for my butt. It's for my booty.
Take it on a plane and you're sitting there and and you break it out of the bag
Yep.
and someone's like, "Oh, he's gonna put it on his neck," and then he sits
And
up
you
and
just
he
sit down there
and-
and you just work it in
And then-
until it's comfortable.
Yep, and then people are looking at you and they're thinking to themselves, "Welcome to Southwest."
Oh gosh, isn't it Southwest that makes all those jokes in the beginning, or is that just?
Oh, you mean the flight attendants?
Yeah, like the flight attendants,
I
they
think
get up
that's
and they make
everybody.
the announcements. I don't know. I just know that the last time I flew, they made all these jokes and had everyone on the plane laughing, and everyone was in a good mood. And
I think that's I think that's. I think that can be any flight. I think they just like to spruce it up, make it their
Gotcha.
own.
I don't fly enough, so I'm not sure. I remember it was a lot of fun.
Well, I've never left the ground, so I'm like
Well,
a
okay.
pachyderm.
He's terrified of what are those things? The
Pogo sticks?
yeah.
Yeah. I honest to God can't even get on one.
I've done it a few times. I think in my youth, my grandma had a pogo stick, but I don't know if it ended well because I don't remember, so probably not. Anyways,
Oh,
reeling it back.
reeling it back today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about ghost stories. I'm hoping I can get Candace here to tell one. Hopefully, I inspire her to tell one because she can't really remember one off the top
Well,
of her head.
It's not that I can't remember. For one, I don't believe in ghosts per se. I have my own opinion on that, which we probably will never get to, but might. I just have one strange story, but Logan apparently has a whole bunch, and he's shaking right now because he's in so much fear of telling me these stories, and hopefully it doesn't give me nightmares. So, so Logan, take it away.
So here's one. When I was working a swing shift at my job, and I work in a hotel again. I was standing up there at the counter. It was quiet. It wasn't a weird night at all. Nothing weird happened at all day. Well, I was standing up there. It's dark out. I haven't seen a soul in like 2 hours. And I walked up to count a till, and as I was counting it, I was looking down at my till here at the front, and I hear the doors go open, we have sliding doors, and they slide open, and while I'm counting, I can see somebody walk up, and it's like I thought they were wearing like a black jacket and maybe slacks or something, like they were a business person traveling. Well, as I was counting, and I was just finished counting, because I don't like to be interrupted while I'm counting. I wanted to finish. Well, as soon as I was done counting, as I looked up, as my eyes were going up, this person came at me at the same time as I was looking up, and as soon as they got to where my eyes were pointing straight at like the wall there, it looked like the person ducked underneath the counter there where I couldn't see him. And I was like, what the hell? So I kind of just looked around and everything. I said, hello? And then I looked over the counter and nobody was there. And I thought, it's a fucking shadow person. And that's like my first experience. I mean, I don't really believe in ghosts per se, but I've had my experiences. Like Sean Connery in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I have seen my fair share.
Oh, Sean Connery. We should cheers to that. Let's just cheers. Come on.
Cheers. Then another time, I was downstairs where our laundry room was, and I was bringing up some blankets to somebody, and it was in the middle of the day, so it was a busy day. I went walking out of the laundry room and turned right down a hall. Well, down the hall is where our elevator is, and it's to the left. Well, as I turned around the corner there, I saw someone's foot somebody walked around a corner, so their back foot was walking towards.
So you saw their heel?
Yeah, basically,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And I said, oh, hey, hold the elevator. And I went walking down there, and the elevator came down, and the doors opened and everything. And I was like, oh, and I couldn't see anybody. And I was like, hello?
Oh.
And we have a boardroom in the weirdest spot, too. It's down there because it's quiet.
It's kind of eerie that it's down in the basement.
It is weird because people are like, it's in the basement?
Yeah,
And it's
we
like,
get a lot of jokes about that. It's actually run its course, I want to say.
Well, I was like looking around the elevator, and I wanted to make sure like there was nobody down there that wasn't supposed to be down there. So I walked into the boardroom, and it was dark in there, and I flicked on the light. And in my mind, when you're like
You're so
looking
brave.
into the darkness, and you're thinking as soon as I turn on the lights, there's going to be something fucking standing there and go at you, kind of deal. Yeah.
Typical horror movie.
Yeah, typical horror movie.
Yeah.
We work at the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, gosh, no.
Well, I turned on the lights and there was nothing there, and so it was a really weird thing. That's the second time. Now the third time was about a month or two ago. I walked downstairs and I was putting a cart away, and it was just me in the hotel. As an employee, but there was other guests there and stuff. Well, we do have our waxing room, and it's not what you think. It's for skis. It's for a lining.
I don't think I've heard this story yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited.
So, I was closing up in the laundry room, and I start walking down the hall, and as soon as I almost made it to the corner where the elevator is, I hear a teenage girl, and I know that sounds very specific, but it kind of sounds like a girl, not a little one, but like a teenage girl or maybe a young woman or whatever, laugh, and like you think you could just no, It
Oh,
was
you
more
said
like,
teenage girl.
well,
So like,
but not like.
I don't know. How do teenagers laugh?
I don't, no.
I mean,
yeah, man.
I,
No.
I don't. How do teenage girls
I
laugh
don't
these
know,
days? I mean,
fucking-
they're all so fake. It's really hard to nail down.
Oh, snap.
Oh, anywho.
Well, anyway, I was like the hairs on my neck stand up, and
Oh,
I was
gosh,
like,
moaning Myrtle?
oh god, don't even say that. Well, anyway, I turn around, I'm like looking, and I made sure nobody was in the waxing room either, and I checked the maintenance room, and I checked the cart room, and then back in the laundry room. Actually, there was nobody fucking like playing hide and seek in there, like 'cause, you
Oh
know,
my gosh.
when you walk in there, there's also like a break room, and you're like, you don't really. It's always dark
It's
in there.
kind of like
so
a maze, especially in the dark.
It's like a maze.
It
yeah.
really is.
The lights are never
Lots of
off in there,
corners.
but-
Ugh.
But anyway, I'm like, I didn't, because you never look in there. You just go straight for what you're looking for in there. Well, I was like, well, that's fucking weird. And now, here's one that just happened to me over on Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
Thursday night at 1 in the morning, I was working night shift, and a guest came up to me and needed keys because his keys weren't working. So I went in the back where our computer is, where we put new ones in. And I was walking up to it. I was typed in my password and everything. We have another little computer to the left there that the kids, like when my boss's grandson or my coworker's daughter is there, they'll turn on YouTube or whatever for them. Well, I was putting the keys in there and everything. All of a sudden, the computer screen lights up white with the login screen, and you hear, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star," and it's like, oh, what the fuck? Kind of deal.
No.
Like even the guy was like, what? Cause I like it scared me. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my
Kind of deal. And the guy at the front was like, what's going on back there? And I told him that was really weird, and he's like, nobody's ever died in your hotel. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No,
We
no.
should actually. Are we allowed to tell them?
Where? Oh, about I don't think so.
I don't think we're allowed to.
I'll ask my boss about that. I'll say,
Okay.
Can I talk about the?
Can we say it happened, but we can't give details?
I would say yes. Okay, so
Okay.
someone did die in our hotel.
It wasn't murder.
wasn't murder,
It
wasn't
malicious. No, it
Wasn't an accident.
it was natural.
natural causes.
Natural causes. We can't give details, but it does add to
The character
the
of our
character
hotel.
of our hotel. Anywho, wow,
Isn't that creepy?
that is eerie.
I've been
I mean, there's
waiting to tell you
nothing
that.
more eerie than,
A
like
child's voice.
no. Well, I mean, children in general terrify me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like it's not a bedtime story. Like the song.
Oh,
what's it called? Not a lullaby, but like
I was gonna say common
No,
domain,
it-
public
no,
domain.
It has a certain
nursery rhyme.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
nursery rhyme.
Like
Nursery
those
rhymes are
old-fashioned
creepy.
nursery rhymes because they date back however long,
Mhm.
and you hear stories about ghosts and like, come play with me, or
Yeah, play with-
twinkle twinkle. You're like, oh my god,
Like a little Victorian
No.
child.
no,
My
no.
my governess beat me to death with a shovel with her tea kettle.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch or read? Not, of course you didn't. You were a boy. Girls back in the day, they read those like American stories. There was like Addie, and she was the daughter to like 2 slaves, and then there was one about. Oh gosh, I wish I could
Sounds
remember.
familiar.
But they were like American stories, and they were just these tales of young girls and their
Oh,
lives.
That book was for sale at a book fair when I was in school, and I saw it.
There were all these young girls, and so when you say like a teenager or like a ghost of a girl, it's like, you know, makes me think of those American Girl stories or whatever they were.
Or when you think of a teenage girl or whatever, you think of Samara from The Ring.
You know, all I have to say is she probably has really bad skin, and she's just looking for something to moisturize.
Hey, well, when you fall into a damn well in the dark,
Yeah. Okay,
your
I
skin's
can.
not gonna be
I
too
sense
good.
your frustration, but bitch, chill. Seriously, chill.
You're the one that fucking called me it. You're gonna die in 7 days. Hey,
It's like-
you're gonna fucking die for calling me.
It's like, hey, you put that on me. You can take it back.
I was like, hey, I watched your video.
Oh, jeez.
It's like I was
And
wondering.
I don't. When did it stop?
But yeah. So when we so when about 6 years ago, or almost was it 7 years ago, I was walking outside in the backyard at like 12 o'clock at night. It was in the summertime, and I had to take my dog out. He was an old fart, and I didn't want him walking out in the backyard and getting lost because he was starting to.
Buddy?
Yeah, he was starting to
Oh,
get
buddy.
that old age, the senile thing when dogs. And it was dark out too, so I walked out there with them, and it was nice. It was a nice night, very nice little breeze rolling in, and it was warm.
Clear skies?
Clear skies, oh yeah.
Clear
Yeah, it was
skies.
summertime, and
Yeah, okay.
Buddy went to go do his business, and I was like, you know what? I need to pee too. So I'm standing there, I'm taking a piss, and after
It's North Idaho. That's what guys do.
yeah, you piss off your front porch.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it. It's
Yeah.
nature.
That's nature. Well, anyway, as soon as I get done and everything, I look over, or I call Buddy back. I say, Buddy, come on, let's go. And I turn over and I look at our maple tree, and all of a sudden, I see a man's face with long, black, stringy hair looking at me from the tree. And my backyard is very small. We have a fenced-in yard and everything. And when I saw that person, my dog walked inside, and my entire body went numb. I don't know if it was a person or whatever, but I walked in my house, and as soon as I walked in there, closed the door, closed the garage door, closed the house door, walked into the house, and started panicking. My whole body was numb. I was shaking. I started crying. That's how much fucking fear I had in my body. And I looked out the window, and there was nobody there, or even in the dark either. And 'cause you can see someone's figure out there in my yard, because you have either like a neighbor's
You
distant
only
light.
have one tree in the backyard
No,
at your
I-
parents' house.
No,
so,
I have two. I have
Is-
the great big maple, and then I have the great big.
but like that covers the yard, from what I remember. It's
Yeah.
Like moonlight would come in. There'd be enough light to know whether or not there was someone there or not.
Exactly.
It's none of this, oh, the shadows are playing tricks on me. It's like, no, you know.
Yeah, and it was somebody standing right there under the
Oh
tree.
gosh.
too.
And that's not very far from the patio area, or the area where you walk right out from the door.
Mhm, It's only maybe like not even
15, 20 feet, maybe?
30 feet, I want to
30
say.
yeah.
But it was fucking terrifying. I was
Oh,
so
man.
scared. I didn't even go into my room that night, because my room looks out into the backyard.
Oh, because you were in the other room.
Yeah, my other room.
Yeah.
And I was so
Oh.
scared. I slept on the. I don't think I even slept that night. I just sat
Well,
and watched
who would?
movies.
Oh, it just
Yeah.
reminded me of a story
Yeah.
I have. Holy cow. Okay, so, well, no. One thing to know, I am not a believer in ghosts. The paranormal and me, we don't really see eye to eye. I have a different view. But there were 2 incidents in my past. One I was just reminded of. So there was this one night, I can't remember what happened that night in particular, but I woke up and I just felt super uneasy. And this never happened. I have a very good home. I feel safe, secure. I want to say this was 3 or 4 years ago. I was living with my parents at the time, and I remember I wanted to look outside. I don't know why, but I just, when you wake up in the middle of the night, you just want to check the perimeter, make sure everything's okay. And I remember looking out the window, and it was a direct view into my dad's car. Direct view, like light shining in it and everything. And I remember I saw someone or something sitting in it, looking up at me and smiling. And it scared the bejesus out of me. And it was one of those things where you think you look away and it's going to be gone. And I looked away and I kind of had a minor panic attack. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I looked back out there and it was still there. Just sitting there, smiling. Now, I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me, but that doesn't happen. And it was terrifying.
That was when you were a kid, or a little kid, right?
No,
No?
this was just a few years ago.
Oh.
No, this was a few years ago. So I'm well into my adulthood, and I just remember seeing that. I'm like, what the heck is that thing? Whatever it is that I'm seeing, like, it could be dumbed down to, middle of the night, shadows playing tricks on you, but pretty sure I remember what I saw, and it was something looking at me, and it was
Oh.
terrifying.
Well, I have when I was little, I was 3 years old, and we moved into our house. It was just me and my mom, and my brother. My brother had his own room, and well, me and my brother shared a room too. But I would go stay with my mom. I would go sleep in my mom's room, and I remember when I was a kid. I remember when we were in there, when we were sleeping. I was in bed, and I looked out from underneath the covers, and I looked over into the closet, and the closet kind of runs parallel with the bed a little bit. And I remember I was peeking my head out from underneath the covers, and I saw 2 red eyes looking up at me from the top of the corner of the closet.
Everyone sees red eyes.
Well, I fucking saw red eyes, and I still remember that to this day. I don't know what it was, but it scared me. But I didn't want to wake my mom because she had just got off work or whatever.
Hey,
but when you're
that's
3 years old,
That's something I wonder about. Like, why is it that kids are so terrified to wake their parents up? I never was.
it's like, well, what's a monster gonna do to my parents?
Yeah. Well, it's like a monster could eat you alive, but your parents just gonna smack you upside the head until you go back to bed, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
Megan, go back to bed now. No. Anywho,
My
that's just something I've always wondered. It's like, why are kids so terrified of waking up their parents? I never was. I would just crawl in bed with them, and in the morning I'd be back in my bed like nothing ever happened. I mean, maybe I was blessed with really nice parents, and granted, they had a water bed, so it was really fun, because of the waves, and it made you fall asleep faster. but
I could never fall asleep on them. I was always freezing to death.
so fun. So fun. Anyways, sorry. I didn't mean to overhaul your story, but...
No, that was the end of mine.
Oh, okay. So, I'm going to try to remember this story as best I can. It's the one moment in my life where I experienced... I'm not sure it was a ghost. I'm not sure it was paranormal, but it was definitely a moment in time that I don't remember what happened. So, gosh... We're still recording?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we're still recording.
I just want to make sure you can edit this out, but...
I'm gonna leave it in.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I want to say about a year and a half ago, that pause was to get a really good drink of beer. Super good, really good, juicy IPA. My roommate doesn't appreciate a good beer when he drinks one. He likes the bitch beer, which
You drink bitch beer too.
I do not.
IPAs aren't good. They're fucking.
IPAs, when you get... Okay, anyways, we can have this conversation when we're done with ghost stories. Okay.
We will.
It's my time to shine.
Oh,
My
we will.
time to shine like a juicy IPA. Okay, so... yeah, so it was about a year and a half ago. I was working for a cleaning company, and we cleaned residential homes, and sometimes we would get sent to a job we'd never been to before, we'd never heard of, never seen. We just got an address, and so we got this address, and it was about 20-minute drive north of town, and it was this old schoolhouse, it was an old school turned into a residential home. And we were... It wasn't that big a deal. We'd been to places that hadn't been lived in, sorry, I'm just running over my words. So it wasn't strange for us to clean vacation rentals or places that people hadn't lived in for months on end. And so this shouldn't have been any different, but when we got there, it was in the middle of winter. It was right before Christmas, like a month before Christmas. And there was snow, and it was cold. There was no heat. It was just terrifying, and no one had been there since the summer. So it had been sitting for 3 or 4 months. And so we had a key, and my supervisor, she was with me at the time, and then there was one other person with us, another coworker. So we unlocked the door and we went in, and immediately it just felt heavy. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to a haunted house or to a place where they just felt a strong spiritual presence, but it was heavy, and I had a hard time walking through the door. And so it was one of those split level kind of places because it was an old schoolhouse. You could either go upstairs to where the newly renovated kitchen and living room area were, or you could go downstairs to the basement where there were a few bedrooms and a common area. And so we went upstairs first, and it was just cold. You could see your breath. We couldn't figure out where the heat was, and it just felt like we shouldn't have been there. So we got the upstairs taken care of. Still cold. Like I said, we couldn't find the heat. We could hardly find the light switches. It was very dark. And so once we got that top level done, we decided to move to the basement. Well, in the process of going to the basement, we were running into things that felt like thread. And once we found the light, we realized that we were walking through cobwebs on the stairwell. And it was tons of cobwebs just everywhere. And we finally found the lights to turn the basement lights on. And we found the heat source, and we were able to get some heat going through this building. And you walk into the main door, and you have that split level effect. Well, you go to the left and go down like five sets of stairs, and then turn right and go down another flight of stairs. And once you reach that point, that landing, you can turn left into the common area, or you can turn right into a bathroom. Well, we turned right into this bathroom, and it was full of spiders and cobwebs. And not spiders. They're not daddy long legs. They're the bigger ones.
Oh, yeah, they're not, they just have like the longer legs on them.
Yeah, so it was that. And it was...
Kind of one up there.
Please tell me no.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
God. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I've done counseling for my arachnophobia, and I'm over it, but I don't like them.
I want to watch Itsy Bitsy with you.
So, anyways,
Itsy
so we
bitsy
go into this, we go into this bathroom, and it's full of those type of spiders, those type of daddy long legs, just cobwebs, just spiders just everywhere. The water is running brown. Like, this is your typical, like, old, crazy, not lived in home. So we get this bathroom cleaned, and then our next thing is to get into the common area where the bedrooms are. Well, for some reason, someone decided it was my job to go into this common area where the lights aren't on and find the light switch. Well, all I really remember is I went into the area, and at some point I opened a door, and behind this door was, it was attached to the wall by all the cobwebs, and there was something standing there in amongst these cobwebs. There was something there. It was, I don't remember if it was a shadow figure, a ghost, like what it was, but it had the form of a person. And I freaked the fuck out. I'm not gonna edit that. I freaked the fuck out, and the next thing I know, I am on the front porch hyperventilating and screaming and just losing it. And my supervisor is there with me, and she's just patting me on the back like, it's okay, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And I'm just looking at her like, what just happened? Like, I still have no memory of what happened. And she said that I went to open a door and I just ran. She's like, I don't know what happened. You just bolted up the stairs faster than I've ever seen anybody run, and you were on the steps, so I came to help you. And she's a free spirit. She doesn't believe in anything supernatural. She's just like, go with the flow. But me, I'm like very sensitive to it. And
For someone who doesn't believe in ghosts.
no, I don't believe in ghosts. I mean, I could get into what I believe, but I don't think we'll do that this episode. So yeah, that's my only thing. And it took me about 10, 15 minutes to calm down to be able to go back down into the basement. We cleaned it, and there were spiders running everywhere. There were cobwebs everywhere. There was this one room that looked like a freaking dungeon that we didn't even go into because it was terrifying. And it literally had a sliding metal door.
That's some creepy shit.
It was creepy. It was so creepy. So, I mean, I have nightmares like anyone else, and I have experienced sleep paralysis like anyone else. I don't think it's truth, but people experience it nonetheless, and I think it's in a different form than most people believe it. But do I believe in ghosts? No, I don't.
The truth is out there.
Yes, Mulder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I can be Mulder. You can be Scully. You really got the red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I forgot. Yeah, I am a redhead.
Yeah,
and you're kind of like a dirty blonde.
Oh, I'm a dirty blonde. Anyways.
He's a dirty blonde.
I'm a
ladies and
dirty,
gentlemen.
dirty blonde.
Anywho.
Anyway, that kind of, I mean, with the whole, like, opening a closet and everything, kind of reminds me of this story I heard. It's a local story, too.
Local folklore?
You could say it's a local ghost story or something. I don't know if I've actually told you about it or not, but
Okay.
so there's this place downtown. It's near downtown. It used to be a church, and today it is a Head Start. It's a
The place they wanted me to go until they realized that I didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to be a normal kid running amongst the other kids.
Okay. We're gonna get back into that.
Yeah, that'll be
yeah.
childhood development part 1.
Oh, I got some stuff about that. But anyway,
Anywho.
This church, it's now a frickin' kindergarten or something. I never went to it. My brother did. Well,
I cleaned it a few years ago, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, back in the '80s, or actually, I'm not gonna start at the end of it because that wouldn't be very fun. We're gonna start at the beginning. So in the beginning, there was a church and everything, and it was also kind of like a local community center. Well, now there's like 3 frickin' community centers in one spot. In downtown, you have you have the bank, and then you have the old high school.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well.
And you have the tree.
Oh yeah, you got the tree right there.
4.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. We got the tree in town. Anyway,
Sorry.
so we ended up, so back in the early 1900s, and I guess into the 20s, there was a society that was kind of like Shriners. It was called the Odd Fellows Society. And back in the day, they kind of held little ceremonies and everything, kind of like, what are those guys? The ones that build shit?
The Masons?
Masons, yeah.
I was just
Freemasons.
watching the episode on the Freemasons.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't believe any of it, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, anyway, they were kind of like that, but they did some macabre stuff too.
Okay.
And they're-
Side note, macabre. I keep hearing this word like over the last month.
Oh, it's Judaism after dark. No, it's it's just a word to say something that's kind of like a cult.
Okay.
Occult,
Okay.
but
Okay.
macabre. It's dark or
Cult or
a little
occult?
weird. Occult.
Occult. Okay. Got it.
Or
Death.
yeah, like death stuff. Shut up. Stop it, Candace.
Sorry.
Well, anyway, so they would go use the church basement for their meetings and stuff, and nobody really knew what they would do there during their meetings unless you were a member. And let's just say these guys were like proto-Shriners, so before they were riding around on little carts and giving money to sick kids, they were doing...
4th of July parades.
Yeah, and 4th of July parades.
Merry-go-rounds.
Yeah, they were doing stuff like that, but
Okay.
also they
Okay.
would get into some weird stuff. Well, back in like the 80s, I think, or yes, I believe it was the 80s when they opened up Head Start as
Okay.
a place, because it was still a church up until that point, and then it sat empty. Well, the church closed its doors, and then Head Start, somebody bought it and turned it into a school. Well, they were cleaning it out. They did the first level, and they did the second level. They have a little steeple up there too, and they got everything clean and made it look great. And then they go down into the basement, and they're cleaning it out, and they're finding stuff from like the early 1900s, like newspapers and documents and boxes and little knickknacks here and there. Well, they go into this, they started moving everything out, even like the bookshelves and crates. And well, behind this big wooden bookshelf, they move it, they find a door. And it's like an old door, like, you know, like put the key in. You can actually like see through the keyhole kind of deal.
Wow.
Well, they open it up, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff in this broom closet or whatever. And they're just taking boxes out left and right, newspapers, articles, things from the Oddfellows, like they found awards and stuff and all that.
Okay.
Well, then once they got pretty deep in the closet, they found a sarcophagus, like Egyptian sarcophagus kind of deal.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was like
No.
mummy type of deal. Well, they were like, what the hell? So they pulled it out, and when they pulled it out on the thing was heavy. They pulled it
Okay.
out, and when
Please tell me there was treasure in it.
there was a body in there.
No
Yeah,
way.
It wasn't a mummy. I mean,
No fuck.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, and it was from the 1900s. They don't know
So,
if he was, because the Oddfellows, and
What?
I didn't do any research about what they do, so I'm just guessing here, and this is what I've been told.
we'll come back
We'll
in a
come
later episode on
and kind
more
of follow
detail.
up
Yeah,
with that
yeah, okay.
on what Oddfellows were about,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
kind of interesting
That's
too.
fascinating.
I guess it was one of their members that they put
Just
in a,
didn't know what to do with, so we're like, well, we're just gonna shove you in the sarcophagus and shove you in a broom closet like Harry Potter.
that or they kept him in the broom closet, and then after a while, or after they got
They
disbanded,
forgot about
they
it?
probably forgot about
Oh
him.
my god, can you imagine? It's like, oh, we'll just shove you in the sarcophagus. Oh, wait, what? 10
And-
years later? Oh, crap, we forgot about Logan. He's still in the closet. Well, probably not
And
now.
it's like, oh, hey, let's go over there and pick him up, and then you see the cops and the coroner over there, and you're like, oh, yeah, we weren't here.
It's like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, sir. Want a beer?
And it's the 1980s, and we were all born in
Yeah.
like the late 1890s, so
Ooh.
we're probably just dust at
Man,
this point.
that's wild. I can't wait to hear what else happened after they discovered
Oh,
that.
I
when
do
you
too.
when you
This
get
is-
more details. Like,
Yeah,
I'm stoked.
I heard about this story, and it was pretty cool. I
Oh,
got
that's
I got
wild.
chills learning about it. But I do like old societies. I know you were watching a thing about ancient society or secret societies.
Secret societies.
And I like those things.
Yeah.
But I think
Oh man, we're coming up on what, our hour?
well,
Ish.
39 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah.
39 minutes. Okay.
So we're gonna tie this up because I know
Yeah.
Candace has to go pee.
Yeah, I do. I'm a
Um,
girl. I've been drinking beer all night. But I really wanted to give a shout out to, and I'm sorry if I say this wrong,
Prismatic.
Ninkasi? Is that how you would say it? Ninkasi?
Yeah, Ninkasi Brewing.
Ninkasi Brewing Company. Man, they're out of Eugene, right?
Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon, and they make a juicy IPA that is to die for. It's one of my favorite IPAs. I've been drinking it all night. They're not sponsoring us or anything, but I just wanted to give them a shout out. Seriously, best IPA. So good. Continue it.
And I'm just drinking Angry Orchard
Of course.
because I like to enjoy what I'm drinking and don't like to suffer.
He hasn't gained an appreciation for different types of brews?
Oh, I have. I just don't like the taste of grass. You know, like I don't. I know this is. I know this. We're giving a shout out to our favorite beers, but I feel like you were just kind of giving a shout out to
No.
Scott's Lawn and Seed, because that's basically what IPAs
Oh,
taste like.
cheese and rice. Cheese and rice.
Is what I like in a burrito.
So we'll sum this up with don't trust your public transportation and don't look at the bus.